Hello everyone, Geminme here. Today we have a special guest, my little sister, Shawmtiel Diaz. It's truly an honor to have her here. I've always wanted to make Geminme the Podcast intimate. I think this is as intimate as you can get, right? To get my little sister, to get my partner, and hopefully my parents on here sometime. But yeah, I just wanted to share this platform with her and like have this conversation. So welcome, Shawmtiel, to Geminme the Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. This is amazing. I am truly honored and blessed that I can share this with you and share our intimacy, share our sisterhood, and grow from it, right? Discuss and share how we have evolved, how we have to work, right? Because we don't get to destination, but here we are. So, I mean, I would love for to give the chance to you to say maybe who's Shawmtiel Diaz, how do you identify as, like, what are you passionate about, so people get to know you a little bit better.
Well, I am me because there's a lot to anybody, really.
Yeah.
I feel like when people ask me that question, it's a little hard to answer because you're really somebody different every day. So, I mean, very outgoing and social, but I also like my alone time a lot. Need that time to like reset and all that. But overall, I'm very passionate about many things, like just evolving and having a journey and making sure that I'm always listening to my heart and what I feel is right for me in this life, and following that, making sure I'm happy with everything I'm doing. And overall, I have very big passions in being creative and active. I love nature. I love sports. I love dancing. Love learning new hobbies. Just making sure that that creative spark is always flowing. And I'm trying to get into urbanism now, so that's something new that's happening.
I love that. I love that definition. And you're so right when, sometimes people stick to these identities or these things that they are. And you just open up like, I am who I am. I am.
Or
Right?
people even say, I am their career position. Like, I am a doctor. I'm a leader. It's like, that's you for, the government, what you're working for, but that's not like who are you when you're outside of your job.
And that's a great, I would say, introduction to our conversation, because a lot of our mental health, right, which is a topic we're going to touch on now, is based on like perspective, identities, right? Like how we maneuver through life, right? And as complex as it is, our daily practices, who we socialize with, things that we do for ourselves, right? And I really admire you. I just wanted to bring this up before I forget to mention. But I really admire you too because you are unique in your own way. You make sure that what you do is like, you make sure that it's right for you first instead of like you trying to please people. And I feel like I would say myself as a first generation American here and being the oldest, we're always trying to like please other people, cater to other people, make sure everybody's good, and that is a challenge in mental health. That is a great challenge. I would say a lot of my colleagues too that identify as first gens and struggle with this because we're trying to like be good, but at the same time we're like caring for other people, and we might get lost in the sauce, as people would say. But you have always, try to stick true to yourself, and I really admire that about you. So Thank you. You're welcome. So I guess we can start with like sharing like our daily mental health practices, I would say. And obviously this is different every day. We're not perfect. We just want to share like little things that we do for ourselves. And of course, there's always room for growth. And that's we're human, right? So it's not perfect. But yeah, like share with us maybe some things that you try to implement in your daily practices that help your mental health and like how that helps you and benefits you.
There's many things for a long time, I've made a to-do list every day because that's the best way I work. And now I actually have a routine. So I made a morning routine and night routine. And my morning routine consists of everything that I want to accomplish physically and mentally. So I'll start off with, waking up and making my bed and thanking God, making sure that I stretch and drink water. And then I go for a run and work out. I try to do this every day. Every day is, the same, but and then after I do all the physical stuff, I then go into mental. So there's a lot that I like doing mentally and that I want to do mentally, but if I were to do it every day, it would take a lot of time, or it's just not something that I desire to do every day. For example, like journaling, I've been wanting to get into that, but I feel like writing sometimes isn't the best for me because I tend to just want to write positive and not really focus on negative, which that's great. But at the same time, when you're journaling and you want to really analyze something you want to improve, it's not the easiest to like write it down and really analyze it properly. For me, I analyze things better when I'm talking to somebody about my problems and they can help either point things out or just in conversation, it flows better for me. So I don't think journaling is my thing, but definitely I have a whole list here of things that I like to do mentally. Affirmations, meditate, journal, read, pray, learn about something new, like an interest, a hobby, a language, or improving a skill. So what I have decided to do for my morning routine is make like a bowl. I don't know how to call it, or I've searched it up, but I don't think it has a name. Like the game we played, you have a bowl, you have different things in it, notes, and pick one out. So doing that for my mental practices every day so that I can either pick one or two to accomplish for that day. So
it sounds
it'll be new every day, hopefully, and I don't have to do it all in one day or feel overwhelmed that I have to do all of this and it's gonna take me so much time.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I never thought about it. It keeps it like spontaneous, right? Because you like pick a new practice for everything. I would say for me, like you said, it's so different every day because, sometimes we're like, okay, like these are my must do's kind of thing, right? Like this is gonna keep me grounded, this is gonna start my day and I'm gonna feel empowered and you know. And then you wake up and you have to like rush or something, right? Like things happen. Life happens, we're human.
Not every day is the same.
Exactly. And so I always start my day like with prayer or like gratitude. I try to, thank God for like waking up, for my house, for my family, for the breath in my lungs, right? And just gratitude. I feel like that really is like, okay, we have to do that. That's something that really like excites me. And so practicing gratitude, prayer, meditation here and there. Right now, like every day, I like to meditate. Reading, right? I try to do reading as well. Journaling, like I know you mentioned journaling. So journaling for me is it's just like a little paragraph, right? Like what I remember, I'm like, okay, yeah. And even though if I don't have anything at the talk about or say, right, or write, I just start writing like dear me, and like whatever comes to mind, right? So like kind of forcing myself to do it because some people are like, oh, like I want to journal, but I have nothing to say, or I feel weird about it. But like I'm like little like forcing it.
I feel like maybe people are just too stuck in their heads about like the way we grow most of our lives is like, okay, we're in school, we have to write everything, like, our homework or a response, a test, this and that. So maybe people have this feeling stuck in them, like I'm writing and thinking that somebody's going to see it or that they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can.
Like it doesn't have to be about something like
Yeah.
each line could be about something different, like spontaneous.
Literally just write what you're thinking. Don't judge yourself. Just if you don't feel like it's right or you like it, it's okay. You can analyze it, change it, work on it.
Yeah.
Just start somewhere.
Something that I would say that really helps me like stay grounded and know that each day is gonna be different. Like my meditation from, let's say today, right? Meditate today, 15 minutes, relax, etc. It's not gonna look the same. Like I don't expect myself to be fully on perfect, fully on committed, and habits, practices, routines, rituals, whatever you want to call it, it's a decision. And sometimes we want to be like, oh, like when I feel like doing this or when I have the time, like you have to make it a priority. You have to make the decision, like, this is on my to-do list and I'm going to do it. And not like, oh, like I mean, yeah, we all have like long to-do lists, like I'm guilty. But it's like, okay, like which one do I want to prioritize, right? Like if I have 20 things on my to-do list, and I often do, which ones are more important to me and which ones I could leave for another day, right? So I feel like that also helps me to be like, okay, like these are my priorities. I really need and want to do this, and just start doing them, right? Imperfectly. You might not have the feelings that you want to have. You might not have clothes on that you want to have. So you might not have meals in your system that you want to have, right? And it's like we're so structured to like to think that oh everything has to be perfect, every condition has to be aligned. The stars need to be aligned for me to start working out. The stars need to be aligned for me to meditate. And it's not gonna happen, guys. It's not.
It's like thinking, oh, when this is done, I'll be happier. When this is done, I can do this. And it's like that might not even be there when you want it to be there. Everything changes and you can't just rely on something to do something else. You just have to do it. And I've come across this on the internet, like people talking about their habits and all that. The 1, 2, 3 rule, like, you're laying down, you're procrastinating, you're lazy, and might not have energy. And yes, you need to relax and give yourself that rest, but don't do it too much. So, when you catch yourself in the moment of doing it too much, just think, okay, let me do this. I don't have the energy or the motivation, but the energy and the motivation isn't there. So you have to discipline yourself. Just think 1, 2, 3, get up. Do it.
Yes, I love that.
That's something that.
And so I like the fact that you mentioned like sometimes we have these goals, right? Like these ideas like, oh, once I start meditating every day, and I work out every day, and I journal every day, etc. Right? Like the list goes on and on. You think that you might like arrive to this like, oh, like the angels are singing and you're like full happiness and peace, right? Like you might have feelings of that, of course, because I feel like if you really value those things, you will feel more mindful, more happy, more peaceful, etc. But I feel like we also can't wait, like you mentioned, like to get to that point where we can all like do all the 20 things that you want to do because it's unrealistic, right? Like you said, a lot of those things take time, right? Like discipline yourself, life happens, things, distract us from certain things, obligations. And so it's like, okay, having your, let's say, top 3, top 5 things that you can do before you step out of the house or before you start working or whatever it is.
I would say something that really helped me, because I'm very analytical and my mind, the way it works, I make a list for everything. So there's always a million things that I want to do, I need to do, this and that. I went into my notes and I made lists. So I did a list of things I need to do, things I want to do, and like things I need to buy, things I want to buy, because we're always needing something, wanting to do something. So that's like just, simple. And with the need to do, I wrote a lot, like that's my biggest list. And it consists of so much. But I also, let me actually look at it and tell you guys some of the stuff. So after I made the need to do this, I then condensed it into a organized plan list. So things of mental health, physical, creative, priorities, social, education, business, dance, work. So things that are important to me, and mental and health and physical, I would like to do every day. So, my mental and my physical tasks, to make them accomplished in the morning. And things of priority. So whether it's long or short-term goal, making sure that I always look back at the list and, okay, I accomplished this, let me cross this out, or something that you haven't done but you want to start doing, and just adding it to do list every day. And just overall goals. I have work goals, business goals, education goals that I want to accomplish. And I just have that all there so that I can look back at it every couple of days or whatever, to make sure that I'm on track, or have to put myself on track.
I like that. I love that. Yes. So what I'm hearing from this, and I could relate to because I used to do this, is that if you're not planning, so if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Right? So you have to plan, you have to be intentional, you have to make decisions, you have to keep track. For example, on your to-do list is something that I also use is like agendas, or like our Google calendars or Apple calendars, whatever works for you. Some people are more like, they like to write it down and cross it out and highlight and circle and star and all that stuff. Some people are more like technical, and then they just have all their stuff on Google. I use both because I'm both technical. I like to have access to stuff, kind of sync all my calendars together, and I also like to like write and highlight and do all the colorful and stickers and stuff like that. So whatever works for you. But I feel like planning is so important. Because even like, career wise, for example, if you don't know where you're going, then where are you gonna go, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's what it's hilarious, right? But it's still true. Like, we don't know where we're going, we're just going. Like, imagine a boat or a ship in the middle of the sea, and they have no idea where they're going. They're just going. They might be going in circles and circles, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere."
Yeah.
So I say this to remind you guys, but definitely myself, because I'm not perfect on this at all. But it's things that we have to implement, and like hearing you and like you shared those tips that you use, like different aspects of your life and how you create plans or create strategies or goals. And I feel like that's so important, especially now for the new year, to like have a clear vision of like, okay, these are the things that are important to me, right? Physical, mental, emotional, family,
Things that are neglecting.
Like, how can I change and be better? Yeah.
Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Obviously, we have to get ready. Things just arise, but for most of the things that we already do on a daily, that we struggle to do, just be ready so you don't have to get ready. Just like making your lunch the night before or meal prepping and picking out your work outfit the night before, just how the way you pack before you go on a trip. Some people pack the last minute and they miss their flight and then they're stressed and things like that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to bring up, let's see if I can forget, about, do you see how we're talking about all these like mental practices and habits and routines? Like, don't feel stressed that I'm not doing all these things, so I'm doing bad. Like, everybody has their own journey, everybody has different priorities. So not all of this has to be done by everybody or needs to be done by everybody. So just take this as like advice and see if it works in your daily life, but also making sure that you are definitely focusing on your mental and what your mental needs to accomplish everything else in your life. That is, whatever, but making sure that you don't overdo things so that you can gain mental clarity and know what you need to accomplish to better yourself, because everybody has a different journey, so we all need different things. And
yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Because I feel like, especially in ourselves, like we do this to ourselves. And so it's like we have this high to-do list or expectation of like what our day should look like. And we put pressure on ourselves, obviously, to make it happen. But sometimes, like I said, we're unrealistic because we have 20 things and we only have like, 24 hours in a day. And most of that, obviously, we have to sleep and rest. And so, like, we also like projecting, our thoughts, our objectives, goals, and things that we do and we want to do. I don't want you guys to like feel like, oh, like I'm not even thinking about that. I don't want to do that. And it's good that you brought it up because, everybody's journey is so different, right? And like you said, priorities for me is like the same as your priorities. Everybody's on their own journey, and you just have to give yourself grace, because apart from, yes, you want to accomplish, you want to become a better human being, we're all human, right? We have feelings, we have bad days, good days, and just give yourself grace wherever you are. If it's starting a mental health journey or awareness, right? Or is it like in the middle, or is it like a higher level? And I feel like there's never this linear mental health journey. I feel like this roller coaster, like today is a perfect day, tomorrow I don't want to talk to
no journey.
And it's like, yeah, it's a roller coaster, like
your whole life.
It's a roller coaster, and that you have to embrace embrace the roller coaster, embrace it, give yourself grace, give your surroundings, your family, your friends, your partner, etc. Because they are also going through this journey called life, and everybody's going through their own thing. So, knowing and giving yourself grace also gives you empathy for others, because you're like, oh, like, I don't got my shit together. So this person definitely doesn't have their shit together, right? And it's just knowing that we're all going through the motions and everybody's going through something. But we find ways, right, to make sure that we're a bit sane, sanity at its best. But yeah, it's beautiful to see. And I like that you mentioned about being ready and becoming ready, because I've heard this, thing that like motivational speakers and mention this is like, make sure that you're ready so when opportunity comes, you're ready to execute and ready to like shine. Because sometimes we wait like, oh, when I get this job, then or when I get this client, then I'll start preparing myself, doing, the skills that I need to like coach this client, etc. But no, you have to become the best version that you can. So when the opportunity comes, that client comes, you're like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to like coach you, I'm ready to serve you. I'm ready to like execute this mission, whatever it is. So I think we have to like kind of switch it. Like we're not gonna see that goal in front of our faces before we start like moving forward and making actions and driving. We have to like drive to the actions, get ready, like you said, before you have to like be on fire, right? Be on the spotlight, for example, of executing that goal.
It's not, you're not always going to, nobody's perfect. You're going to grow and learn new things you need to learn while you're on that journey of accomplishing that goal. And it's baby steps, everything's baby steps. You need to really analyze your life, what you want to accomplish, what you need to do. I've struggled with this so much in my life where I want to start something, so I want to finish it right away. Like even with homework, if I was behind on homework, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this all today. Like I need to catch up. I need to do my math homework today. I need to do my science homework today. This, and that. And it might be like more than one assignment for each subject that I need to complete, and I want to complete it all today because I want it done. It's like then I set myself up for failure because I'm putting too much pressure on myself and I'm feeling overwhelmed. So then I just don't do that. Mm-hmm. So just baby steps, do one thing at a time. And as we said, look at the to-do list. What do you need to prioritize and actually get it done so that it can be done, and then you have time tomorrow to do one or two more things of priority from whatever you need to do.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And so, like, I know we mentioned a little bit of things that we do. Is there anything, for example, that we see like area of improvement or things that we would like to implement slowly but surely into our daily practices? Do you have anything that you feel like, oh, like I haven't been doing this a lot, maybe I can start doing it the new year?
For like daily practices,
Could be, doesn't have to be daily. It's just like practices and routines overall.
Yeah. I think something I would like to implement in my own life would be I feel like I definitely make so much time for myself and make sure that I have my priorities done and remembered so that I can be good, because I know if I'm not good, then I can't be good to others. So I definitely always do that, but I feel like I have to make more time for family because I'm always so caught up in my daily life and things that I want to do, things I have to do, things I haven't done, just all that chaos.
I love that. That was a good one. You know why? Because I feel like I can relate as well, where we're trying to manage our lives so much and it's overwhelming, obviously. We're trying to like cope and do little things here and there to manage it and to become more fluent and more diverse in that area. But that also kind of fogs our vision of like what life is about, right? Like, yeah, we want to be our best version of ourselves. We want to be whole and holistic, right? Like holistic, like being well and have a better quality of life. But there's more to life. There's family. There's serving. There's traveling. There's exploring. Like there's so much out of ourselves that we can do and we can explore. And sometimes we get lost in that, like trying to work on ourselves and like, yeah, we have to work on ourselves, we have to rest, we have to do all these things, but we can show out in the world and live our lives in other dimensions without even being perfect, not perfect, but like, doing all those things, you know what I mean? Like showing up imperfectly would be an example, right? Of like I feel like yeah, we want to be the best version of ourselves for our family, for our friends, but if we're not the best version, showing up still counts. Yeah, so it still counts, it still makes a difference. You don't have to be perfect to show up, and
definitely being just embracing that you are one step ahead than you were yesterday counts.
Yeah, that's great. I would say for me, things that I really want to implement for the movie. I would say serving. That's one of my word that I got.
Can I say something before I forget?
Yeah.
I feel like mental clarity also, like, you know, everything's chaos when you feel like you have so much to do, but just slowing down and focusing and having mental clarity will then allow you to see what your purpose in life is and what you really want to do, because being stuck in the chaos of the world and everything we have to go through and live with because of the world we live in these days, it then blocks what you really desire and what you want to do in life. So make sure you focus on, as you're doing your mental tasks and routines and going through your journey, focus on what you want to do so that everything aligns.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that. So I would say like things that I want to implement in the year, be like serving more, being more immersed in the community, really coming together with the passions that I have, for example, like mental health, youth empowerment, right, empowering women of color, first generations, and just like immersing myself into the community to be able to be part of a greater value. And so service is definitely one on mine. And also like self-care. Like I feel like I've done it to some extent. But and I go back to this always. It's like, okay, yeah, I want to work out. Like that's always been my prayer, right? I want to work out, I want to lose weight, blah, blah, I want to be better. But like you said, you have to live right, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so like sometimes like, yeah, like this is a priority of mine. I want to go to the gym, I want to lose weight. But are you prioritizing meal prepping? No. Right. And so it's like what action steps are gonna take you there? And that's also like breaking up part of clarity, thinking that up. It's like breaking down your goals, like, yeah, like this is the end goal. But how did I get there?
Yes, that's very important, because people always say, okay, I want this end goal, and then they just start doing whatever, but they don't know what the first step is for that goal. Like you need to break it down so that you can accomplish it the best you can. Because people, for example, people start working out, but then they don't have a workout plan, they don't have a meal plan, they don't know how many days they want to go. You just start, but then you don't have a routine, so you then stop and fail. And yeah, so you really have to prepare. But if it's hard to prepare, then just start. Small baby steps. You don't have to eat great automatically and go to the gym this many times a day or a week automatically. Like first start with your health and eat better first, because it's really, people don't understand like what you put into your body affects you mentally, physically, everything. Most people in the world, they eat and then they want to take a nap after, and it's like that's not how it should be. Food should be giving you energy, not making you tired. So yeah, like if you want to better your health, first focus on the health part of what you are ingesting, and start there, and then feel better. You'll definitely see results with like eating healthier and you being mindful of what you put into your body, and then you can slowly add on working out. So work out twice one week and then add a third day the next week. But people want to accomplish certain goals, so they like start really big and then they crash. So
I feel like something also that I have to improve on and add it to this part that you just mentioned is the intention of things. Because, we want like certain goals because we feel like they make us happy or whatever, like this idea of it. It's like, is is it a bigger intention? Is it like a bigger purpose, right? Like, yeah, I want to be rich, but what is rich gonna mean to me, right? Like, how's it gonna enhance my life? How's it gonna become part of my why and my purpose in life? And it kind of, feeds off also where you mentioned the good purpose and having a clarity of like, why are you doing this? Like, what does it mean to you? It's not like
are you doing it for you or for somebody?
Yeah, is it another thing for me to do this, or is it like this is really important to me? So think about your intentions. And I also want to have the intentional part to what things I do, because high achievers as ourselves, we always want to achieve, we always want to, and that obviously takes a toll sometimes in the mental health. But I feel like if we have clarity, then we know the intentions behind things, and if we would give ourselves
grace. I was literally thinking about that. That's something to say.
It's better to cope, it's better to manage. And I feel like something that I must not mention is community. Like having people like-minded, everything like you mentioned, discuss and unpack and digest and vent and things, because we need community. Like we can be,
we are not here to live by ourselves. We need each other. And if you don't have that community, make it. Like, go out there and find it. If you don't have a family that's supportive or that is there for you, you create your own family. That's why we have friends that we feel like are our family, because we found them and we treat them like they are our family and likewise. So, just find your passion, your purpose, gain that mental clarity, and go out there and share it with people so that you can attract that same motive that you have in your life from others.
I like that because I feel like once, like for example, I started with mental health journey as well and when it therapy. It was difficult at first for sure to like, for example, share my feelings with my mom and show her like how I felt about my upbringing and all that stuff. But once I like felt the courage to do it, I felt like, like now that's it, like that it's unloaded, like I was able to unpack that, and that gave me peace like inside, and it also gave her some type of peace. It's like, it's not like you're resenting it or like hating it, but like it's difficult, right? It's not like someone is gonna wake up and be like, oh, like I can do this. And I say all that to say that even though your family, like your family, your friends, people you live with, are not as receptive as you are about mental health, about daily practices, daily value, what the things you're trying to do and do is important to you. And if they see the transformation through all those practices, through those routines, you be like, oh, like, she's so different. Like, she's more peaceful, more friendly. What are you doing? Oh, I'm glad to generation for me and these things. And then they're like, oh, like I'm curious. Like I want to learn how to do those things too, because I feel like you have been transformed. And I feel like our resume is our person, right? Like when people see you and they see your transformation and the person that that you become, they want to know more and they see the value of the things that you do as well. So that's something that to share. I think that's, for the most part, I think we've shared, the benefits that we see in the practices, right? Of like how it can change your mood by life and how we can achieve our goals. And I feel like part of that really is the routines, the daily practices. And there's another word for it, right? It's habits. And habits is a tricky word, because it's sometimes we realize that we have some habits, sometimes we don't realize them. They're good, they're hard to break, they're hard to create. That's a whole other podcast, to be honest. But I feel like we must also be mindful of those things of having different habits and reconstructing. Because sometimes those habits that we have and things that we want, but they've been taught to us.
Yeah, I was also going to bring up about the family and friends part. That when you realign and actually follow your purpose and passions, you are going to lose people in your life because they aren't on the same. They're not on the same path as you. Everybody has different paths, and they might be negatively affecting your life. So you need to go. It's like, don't force things that are not meant to be, because it's not going to help you at all. And I also wanted to bring up, I have a book called Atomic Habits. It's really great. I can read there. I need to get back on it. But it's really, really great. It talks about, it breaks everything down, like the cues. So their habits have a cue. Like you have a desire. So, for example, you love watching movies. You see a commercial of a movie, that's a cue. So now you are desiring to watch that movie, and you go off from there. So, breaking habits, creating new ones. I recommend it.
Yeah, and something that I wanted to bring up too about habits and things like that is it always starts like this is the first step, is awareness. Awareness that you want to do it, awareness that you're not doing it, awareness that but just things like you said, the cues, right? And then being sensitive or hypersensitive to those cues or to those understandings that, I still bother water and have a water today. I think I should drink some, right? Like, and it's, somebody else that's not aware of, for example, drinking water might just walk right by it, right? And not drink water. But if you're like hyper conscious of, I don't know if that is a thing, but of knowing that, okay, like these are the things that are important to me, these are the things that I should be doing. Make sure to try to implement it slowly but surely. Don't like overwhelm yourself with like trying to like create like 10 habits in one day, because it's not gonna happen, right? Just like implement it surely but slowly, put an apple here and there so you see the apple.
Exactly.
Like,
make it attractive. That is something that says you have to make it attractive if you want it to become a part of your life. Yeah. Awesome. Vision board.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, we need to create. Did you create it?
No,
I actually started. I actually
have to get ink for my printer so I can make them. Yeah.
I did a vision board. I did like the Canva version of it. So it's on my phone. I see it on the phone, on the desktop. So yeah, if you guys don't want to print it on the wall, like, just do on Canva with like the different pictures and on your desktop. Put it on your phone, on your iPad, whatever it is, so you can see it if you want to put it on the wall. But I think it is important. It's something that I really want to mention about vision boards. Before it wasn't as prevalent or some obvious to me. Vision boards is obviously things that you want to achieve in the new year, but you also have to know that you're worthy of those things in order to receive them. So it's not just like, oh, like maybe I may get it. No,
yeah, you have to
you
think,
are worthy.
I am worthy.
I'm gonna get it.
Yes, I'm gonna get it. I can do this.
And so I think worthiness has a lot to do with vision boards too, is tied into it, because if you feel like you're not worthy of it or that you can accomplish it, then why are you putting it there in the first place? It's like being a lunatic, thinking something out of this world that is not happening, even though you don't believe it. It might start with maybe I'm like, oh, I'm a little skeptical. I don't know how this is gonna happen, but it is possible, and you are worthy of it. You have a value. You're a beautiful human being. You don't have to be have certain degrees or have certain jobs to receive, graces and to receive things in the world that everybody can receive, right? Like you have the right to get it as well. And so, that's just something I wanted to mention.
And that's a vision to be able to know that if you don't feel that desire or you can't envision yourself in that position, then it's not for you. But if you can, and it's a little struggle, like just push yourself so that you can really feel and see yourself there. So you know.
Well, thank you so much, Shawmtiel, of like being here. It's truly like a great time to have
Finally
yes.
got together for a while.
Yes, we've been planning this forever, guys. But we finally made it happen. This is just the first of many, I'm sure, because I know this part of your desire journey of like to be, creating conversations and your own channel. So this is a little seed there, a little seed of starting. You can also add this to your YouTube channel. So keep tuned, guys, for the YouTube channel of Shawmtiel coming soon. In a website near you.
It's gonna be a lot.
But thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Shawmtiel, it's truly an honor. I love you dearly.
Love you. Thank you for being there for me. Always, of course, being a role model.
I love you.
Always.
So yeah, this is the end of our episode, and part 2 coming soon. Thank you guys for everything. Have a blessed, amazing day. Bye, guys.
Yeah.